The arena buzzed with energy long before the first serve. Fans from around the world had gathered to witness a showdown that promised to be unforgettable, not just for the tennis, but for the tension that hung thick in the air. On one side of the net stood Alex Earla, the young Filipina sensation whose rise through the ranks had inspired millions. Her calm presence, lightning reflexes, and remarkable consistency had made her one of the sport's fastest rising stars. On the other side stood Valentova, a fierce European powerhouse known for her bold attitude and heavy baseline shots. She was talented, confident, and unapologetically aggressive, both in play and in personality. But tonight, her words would overshadow her talent and ignite global outrage. From the moment they stepped onto the court, the crowd sensed something more than competition, something personal. Reporters whispered that Valentova had made an offensive comment during her semifinal match, a remark that many believe carried racial undertones. Her team had dismissed the claims, calling them misunderstandings, but the story had already spread. And now, as the two players warmed up, every camera lens and microphone waited for any sign of confrontation. Alex Earla had heard the rumors too. Her coach had told her to focus on her game, not the noise around it. "Let your racket speak," he said. "Don't let anyone's words shake your grace." And that was exactly what Alex intended to do. The first set began with blistering pace. Valentova came out swinging, her serves cracking through the air like thunder. But Alex absorbed the pressure with calm precision. Her returns were sharp, her movements smooth and deliberate. Each rally was a tug-of-war between aggression and composure, between fire and focus. The crowd gasped and cheered with every point, caught up in the rhythm of two extraordinary young women battling for supremacy. By the fifth game, Alex began to find her rhythm. Her forehand winners painted the lines. Her drop shots left Valentova lunging helplessly. The first set ended 6-3 in Alex's favor. She walked to her bench quietly, eyes forward, her expression unreadable. Valentova, on the other hand, slammed her racket on her chair in frustration. Cameras caught the moment. The tension was rising. The second set began, and the intensity doubled. Valentova's shots grew fiercer, but her temper was unraveling. Every close call from the umpire seemed to irritate her. The crowd sensed something brewing. Alex, however, remained the picture of composure, focused, silent, almost serene. She wasn't just playing tennis, she was sending a message through her calm. Then came the turning point, the moment that would be replayed on every sports network, dissected on talk shows, and spark conversations far beyond tennis. That happened in the middle of the second set. After a long, exhausting rally that Alex won with a brilliant cross-court winner, Valentova muttered something under her breath. At first, it was unclear what she said, but the courtside microphones caught it, a cruel, cutting remark laced with arrogance and disdain. "She plays well for someone like her." The words hung in the air like poison. The phrase "someone like her" struck deep, echoing with the ugly undertones of prejudice that had long haunted international sports. The crowd went silent. Commentators froze mid-sentence. Even Alex stopped for a moment, racket still in her hand, eyes locked on her opponent. For a few seconds, time seemed suspended. Valentova adjusted her wristband, pretending as if nothing had happened. But everyone knew what they had just heard. The tension was unbearable. Spectators exchanged uneasy looks. The umpire shifted uncomfortably in his chair, aware that something serious had occurred, but unsure how to react. Alex took a slow breath. Her expression didn't change. She turned away from Valentova, walked calmly to the baseline, and bounced the ball twice before serving an ace down the center line. The crowd erupted, breaking the suffocating silence. She didn't flinch, didn't lash out. She simply played better. When the game ended, a short break followed. Reporters leaned forward, waiting for her reaction. Cameras zoomed in. Her opponent's remark had already spread through social media like wildfire, and all eyes were now on the young Filipina who had just been insulted on a global stage. Alex stood, towel draped over her shoulder, breathing steadily. Then, as she walked back to the court for the next game, a microphone near the umpire's chair caught her voice. She didn't shout, didn't look at Valentova. She simply said 6 words that would echo around the world. "Your hate can't touch my grace." The arena erupted in thunderous applause. The crowd rose to its feet. Even some of Valentova's supporters couldn't help but cheer. In that instant, Alex Earla had turned an insult into a lesson, a moment of ugliness into an act of dignity. Her words carried more power than any serve or forehand ever could. Valentova froze, visibly rattled. For the rest of the match, her confidence seemed to crumble. Her shots lost their precision, her movement slowed. Alex, meanwhile, played with renewed purpose. Every stroke was clean, confident, and filled with quiet defiance. She broke Valentova's serve twice in a row and closed out the match 6-3, 6-2. As the final point was played, Alex dropped a racket, her eyes glistening under the bright lights. The crowd's roar shook the stadium. She didn't celebrate wildly. She simply looked upward, as if offering her victory to something greater than herself. Valentova walked to the net for the handshake, her face tight and pale. Alex met her eyes for a brief second, extended her hand, and said softly, "Good game." Then she walked away, leaving her opponent to wrestle with the weight of her own words in the post-match press conference. Alex faced the inevitable questions. Journalists asked about the comment, about whether she'd file a complaint, about how she felt in that moment. She smiled, a small, humble smile, and answered, "Tennis is about discipline and respect. I can't control what people say, but I can control how I respond. My parents taught me that grace isn't weakness. It's strength that speaks quietly." Her six-word response and post-match statement went viral within hours. Hashtags like hashtag #AlexErla, hashtag #GraceOverHate, and hashtag #RespectInTennis trended worldwide. Celebrities, athletes, and fans from all over the globe praised her composure and courage. Messages poured in from fellow players commending her for showing what true sportsmanship looks like. Valentova, on the other hand, faced swift backlash. Sponsors distanced themselves, and tournament organizers announced an investigation. Within days, she issued a public apology, admitting that her words were reckless and unacceptable. But the damage was already done. Her name had become synonymous with a lesson, one about humility, respect, and the consequences of arrogance. Meanwhile, Alex Earla's reputation soared. She wasn't just a tennis champion anymore. She had become a global symbol of dignity and strength. Her quote appeared on posters, t-shirts, and headlines. Young athletes across Asia and beyond began sharing her words as a mantra. "Your hate can't touch my grace." Weeks later, when asked if she'd forgiven Valentova, Alex replied gently, "Yes. Because forgiveness frees you, not the other person. I don't play to prove anyone wrong. I play to honor those who believe in me." Her answer, like her performance, was pure class, a reminder that true champions are measured not just by titles or trophies, but by the way they carry themselves when faced with hate. That night, as the lights dimmed over the stadium and the fans slowly left, one truth echoed in every corner of the sports world. Alex Earla had not only won a tennis match, she had won hearts. Her victory would be remembered not for the scoreline, but for the moment when a young woman turned cruelty into courage and silence into strength. And those 6 words, "Your hate can't touch my grace," became immortal, etched into the history of sport as a timeless example of what true greatness looks like.